Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. You have to excuse the lights are on, but it's heading towards evening and I wanted to do this while it's on my mind. Getting started with an orchid YouTube channel. It's not easy, first and foremost. First of all, you've got to pluck up the courage to actually do it. Then you've got to have at least a basic camera, even if it's only on your phone. Yeah, and a little bit of wherewithal perhaps about videos in general, but that'll come. That's not essential. Thinking back to when I first started, my first video I was frightened to even speak, so it was just pictures. I don't even know if there was any music or not, but it was a worrying time. But I wanted to do it, and I think therein lies the thing. It's the want. The want will provide the will to do it. When you first start, you may put a video up and get up the next morning, rush down to your unit, whatever it is, computer, thing, phone, tablet and whatever, and nobody may have watched it. And it's disheartening. You've got to keep going. If you want to build a channel, you've got to keep at it. And the first thing is to think about, well, nobody knows about my channel. How are they going to find out? Well, there's some things you can do to help. First of all, if it's going to be an orchid channel, you're going to need some orchids, aren't you? That can be anything from one to, in my case, far too many. That's another subject. It grows on you. Does the need to buy more orchids go with the fact that you've actually got a channel? Not necessarily, but it can do. I know individuals that go and buy orchids to have something to film. Something new with blooms on. Otherwise you can often end up with a sea of green and nothing happening for a while, you know, till more stuff comes out. But anyway, getting going. I think understanding a bit of what's going on with the YouTube processes will help first. So when you first start, nobody's ever heard of your channel. How do they find you? Well, there are a few tricks. You might call it a bit sly, but I think the easiest way is to say what I did. And what I did was, first of all, I was watching YouTube orchid videos for a long time before I even thought about doing one myself. And somebody puts a video up, and underneath that video are lots of comments. Yeah, and each one of those comments has got a channel title against it. Yeah, you have to have a channel to leave a comment. Now that can be the absolute bare minimum, where you just set up the channel, you haven't even put a picture up there, you know, the little circle that goes next to the name. You've done nothing, so it'll probably just have a colour and an initial on it. Those are empty channels. Those people have set those up to leave comments and may never ever post a video. But nonetheless, that's what they're there for, is because they like joining in with the comments. It's a community. That's part of it, the chat that goes on in the comments section. It's great fun. I love it. So first thing you can do is go on to some of the bigger channels and have a look at some of those names. And if you click on one of the names, it'll take you to that channel. That's where you find out if that is an orchid channel or not. Because when you get there, there could be some videos, and if there's some videos, it's an orchid channel. Might be worth just bearing in mind the dates on the videos, because you might come across some channels where they haven't posted a video for 2 years. Might not be worth following that channel, but they could come back. People do take a break and then come back. But anyway, that'll get you to find some other people's channels, so that's sort of part one of the exercise. The next thing you can do, which is a bit sneaky, but I did it and it worked in the main, I won't say across the board, but on some of the bigger channels you can leave a comment saying, I'm starting up a YouTube channel and I've just put my first video up, would you take a look and offer some advice? And those that have got the time and can be bothered will do just that. And they might even give you a little plug and saying, I've just found a new channel with some nice videos on, go and take a look. That'll push people in your direction. Yeah, so there's a little bit of sneakiness, I'll call it, but nonetheless, it's a viable thing to do, is go and find other orchid channels. And when you find them, the first thing you need to do is subscribe to their channel. Now, depending on the YouTube settings, they may see you as a new subscriber and return the favour and come back to your channel and subscribe. Doesn't always happen, but if you don't do it, you know, one way, it ain't going to come back the other way, is it? So that's always worth a go. Subscribe to the channels. Now, as I said, it depends on settings. Some people keep their subscriptions private, so you will never know if they're subscribed to your channel. I don't do that. If I subscribe to a channel, I'm happy for people to see that I've subscribed. I'm that way inclined. But there's that path to take. So find yourself some orchid channels and get subscribed. Yeah, and hopefully some people will return the favour. Next thing you could do is obviously have some reasonable content. You know, before you pick your camera up like I do and just waffle, perhaps have a subject or a theme, or, you know, along that lines, where you're going to cover a specific topic or something along those lines, and then do it and stick to it. The next thing you'll have to think about is your channel's style, and people chop and change this as time goes on, and some people never make their mind up what their style is. Now, for me, on the orchid channels, there are two distinct types. There are those that are what I call look at me and I might show you some orchids, and then there are others, look at my orchids and you might see me. Now, when I first started, nobody saw me ever. It was just the orchids. That was how I was, and it changed. And it changed when I started meeting people out at shows and places like that, and they came up and said, "Hi, are you Roger?" And I said, "Who wants to know?" So I was thinking, how do you know? And do you know how they knew? They recognised my voice. That's good. You know, to be recognised at a show in amongst a crowd of people because of the sound of your voice is good stuff. Yeah? Nowadays I've poked my face in my videos so people can spot me from 500 yards away, and do, and come running up. Oh, you know, it's great, I love it. But, so you've got that thing to think about. Do you want to be in your videos all the time, or do you not want to be in them? Or, like me, do you want to be in them occasionally? You know, which means I have to have a shave and put a clean shirt on, so it doesn't happen often. For me, it's more about the plants. Yeah, so find yourself a sort of style that you're comfortable with. And then when you get to your actual videos, some people will talk over a background soundtrack, like a bit of music quietly playing in the background. And I know some that find that distracting. They'd rather not have the music at all. So just a bit of advice, if you're going to have some background music, which I've got personally no problem with, I don't do it because I can't be, I nearly said the word then, I can't be bothered, let's keep it polite. I can't be bothered to muck about with soundtracks and finding one that's long enough for the video, or trying to string soundtracks together because it's a long video, which some of mine are. Oh, you noticed. So have a style. If you're going to have background music, I seriously would suggest that you listen to your video back afterwards and find if your volume level of your background music is suitable. Because if it starts to creep up a bit, it will be distracting. Yeah? So keep it low. If it's going to go together with your voice, keep the background music low. And on the subject of music, watch where you get your music from. You will get a strike from YouTube as quick as anything. They are almost spot on across the board at spotting music that has copyright issues, and they'll have you for it. So just don't do it. There's a YouTube music library in the Creator Studio where everything that's on there is legit, and you can use it at your leisure. When you find a piece of music that you like and you want to use it, it will tell you in the description whether you are free to use this music in your videos, but sometimes it will say as long as you put these words in your video description. If it says to do that, just do it. Just cut and paste. You know, if it says do it, do it. That way you just avoid problems. Music can cause hassles. I mean, I've had some strikes in the past. I don't do it anymore, so I don't get any. So watch your music. Don't just put one of your CDs on and stick that in there. They'll find it, you know, and then you get a strike. They can even take your video down. Do it often enough, they'll close your channel and you lose all your videos and everything. So it's a serious matter. Watch the music side of life and keep it legit, and that way you're squeaky clean. I would personally say on an Orchid channel, keep off the swearing and the, you know, any sort of abusive language or shouting and getting angry and all stuff like that. It's about orchids. It doesn't. The channels don't need all that, and you will put some people off. In fact, you could put a lot of people off. You know. So watch the language. Keep it clean. Keep it tidy, and then you've got your style. Now, I know there are some channels where the videos are heavily edited. I've done enough mucking about with videos, I can spot it a mile off. Now, I got a problem with my camera that you will never see. It stores the clip on the camera and then I download it onto the computer, but it has a maximum size for each file. So if I did a half-an-hour video, when I offload what was one take, like this is one take, no editing, yeah? But when I take the clip off, if it goes over a certain number of minutes, the camera will split it into two. Now when I put the video together, that join never shows. But if I turn the camera off and turn it back on again, you can see the join. So heavily edited videos is not a problem, but the joins will show to those that know about those sorts of things. That's not a problem. I turn the camera off and on again frequently if I'm doing a video about quite a lot of different plants, because I've got to get one out of the way and get the next one in the way, if you see what I mean. So there will be breaks and they get joined together. That's okay, you know, I've got no problem with that. But some people, you know, all their worms come out wrong and they think, oh, I've said something wrong, I'll go back and do that again. Well, you can if you want, but it's work. Yeah. I have been told I have a natural speaking style, and if I fluff my words, I really don't care. I just leave it in. I just let it run. So I mess up my words sometimes. My mouth gets tied up and my tongue gets tied and I blow it. I just carry on. But some don't like that. They like it to be perfect, so they will retake things, sometimes many times I'm sure, until they're really happy with each element. That is brilliant if you've got the time, and you will end up with what I call a polished video. Work's been put into it. Yeah, I'll let you into what I do. When I finish this, I will go and download the clip or clips, depending on what the camera's done, onto the computer into a folder. I'll load up my software, drag those clips in, change the title, save it and produce it. That's it. That's all the work I do, and it seems to work okay. I don't take out fluffs. I sometimes think I ought to just edit those little bits out so that I could do a bloopers video one day. That would be quite fun, but then I'd have to bother, wouldn't I? I'd have to remember to do it each time I fluff something or muck something up. I can't be bothered. It would be fun. You know, it's always in the back of my mind and then I just forget to do it. So you will have a style of your video that is either polished or very free format, yeah? And that depends on you, the person, on what you want as the finished product. But don't worry too much about it. You can get tied up with that side of life and, you know, forget what the subject is, because you're more worried about you, what you're doing. It's the subject that's important. Yeah? So that. Right. How does YouTube work then? If I go onto YouTube and use the search bar and type in Phalaenopsis, I will get a load of videos come up in a big long list. YouTube's done that, yeah? And I can guarantee that at the top of the list will be half a dozen channels, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So if your video is called Phalaenopsis and you're a new channel, where do you think in that list yours is going to be? So don't have high hopes, because you're not going to go up and above those, because the way the YouTube search mechanism works, it will pick on popular videos, and that consists of number of views, and you're not going to have 20,000 views on your video, so yours is not at the top of the list. But it will hit exact matches, and therein lies something you can do. It'll take a while before it kicks in, but watch your title and the top few lines of your description. Make sure your keywords are in there. If it's an orchid channel, the word orchid needs to be in there somewhere, yeah? Otherwise it's down the bottom of the search pile, isn't it? You know, so and the first couple of lines of description are included in the search mechanism that YouTube uses. If it only found half a dozen videos, it would then look and see which are the most popular and stick those at the top. Yeah, so there are algorithms going on here that they do chop and change as well. But yeah, so think about your title, make sure it's suited for the content of the video, and certainly if you're doing videos on species orchids, get that name in there. You know, people will be looking for that, and there might not be many. That gets yours up near the top of the pile, yeah? So like, you know, if I do Dendrobium harveyanum and a video about that, get that in the title, and also repeat it in the first couple of lines of the description. And the other thing you can do is on the Creator Studio are tags. Tags are inherent in the YouTube search. If you haven't got any, it can't use them. So use those tags, yeah? You just type in your words or your expressions, end it with a comma. It took me ages to work out how to end a tag and move on to put a new one in. I know it sounds dumb. I actually looked it up in the end. But yeah, use the tags. Get your keywords into those tags. I'm very lazy with tags, I must admit, but they're there to be used. So title, first few lines of description, and tags. Get the keywords in there to help YouTube find your videos. Yeah? You don't help YouTube, it won't help you. And trust me, it has no plans on helping you. Not when you're starting out. You are irrelevant to YouTube at that point. YouTube has some bands which it works on. The first one is 1,000 subscribers. And at that point you can monetize your channel if you choose to do that. Not everybody does, but the choice is at least there. Up to that point you're not allowed to. Yeah, so that's band number one. Also, when you get above that band, YouTube thinks a little bit more about you and might just help in some of the searches, because it thinks your channel's getting bigger and better and more people will be watching it. The more people that watch it, the more adverts get watched and the more money YouTube makes. It's all about the money, yay. And then nothing happens on your channel until you reach 10,000 subscribers. That's the one I'm aiming at. Slowly but surely creeping up there, but I can't do a huge amount to help it out, I must admit. It'll get there when it's good and ready, hopefully. And then when you get to 10,000 subscribers, YouTube takes quite a bit more notice of you. I've seen some other channels, you know, slowly creeping up over the periods of time, and then they click over that 10,000k mark and suddenly their channel starts to take off. Now that's YouTube kicking in, starting to help a bit more, pushing your videos higher up the search list, yeah, on the grounds that more people are watching them, therefore more adverts get watched, more money's made, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then nothing happens till you reach 100,000 subscribers. On a YouTube orchid channel, don't hold your breath. You may never get there. You may never get to 10. But those are the bands that YouTube uses. A word about subscribers. A lot of people worry about the number of subscribers. Apart from YouTube's banding, they are irrelevant. They can be meaningless. You can get somebody who hit on one of your videos on a random search and thought, ah, that's quite nice, I'll subscribe. And then next time they come back, they don't like that video and they never come back again. But they don't unsubscribe. So you can end up with a number of subscribers that is not relevant to the number of people watching your videos. It's people that came and went and didn't stay. Now obviously your objective is to get them to stay. You know, spark off their interest, make them want to see your next video. Yeah, so don't take so much notice of subscribers. Quite honestly, it's views that are important. Get people to watch. Yeah, and that's down to you. You're the one that does that bit. So yeah, getting started's difficult, and it's going to take some work and a bit of consistency. But one thing I will say about the mechanics of the subscribers function is when you find a channel and subscribe to it, the normal reason for subscribing is that you'd like to see more videos. Now, I post a video virtually every day, sometimes more than one. So I'm very regular. So people could turn up at my channel and expect to see a new video frequently. But not everybody works like that. Some people might only post once a week. Or it might be totally random. There might be 2 in 1 week and then not another one for 3 weeks. So you never know when the next one's coming. But if you want to know when it's coming, ring that bell. Yeah? It's there to help you, not the person whose channel it is. It makes no difference to them. But if you click on that bell, yeah, you will then get notifications when that channel puts up a new video. And lots of people have asked me, what do you mean by notification? Every channel has an email address. The notification is from YouTube into that email box. So that's how you get told. And if you use a phone for your emails and stuff, and you've got it set to make a twinkly little pretty noise every time an email arrives, it'll tell you, you know, when you're on the bus or on the train or in a restaurant having a meal. But at least you know. So that's what that notification bell's for. And lots of channels end all of their videos with, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and set notifications and hit that like or dislike button. I don't bother, because to me that's stating the bleeding obvious, isn't it? People who use YouTube know what that is and how to do it. They don't necessarily need telling, but perhaps a subtle reminder is in order. So I'm going to end this video with, if you've liked my videos and you wish to, I can't keep a straight face, and wish to see more videos like this, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want notifications, click on that bell, ring that bell. And it's nice to say like or dislike. In my book, clicking on dislike is a waste of time, because I don't know what you didn't like, do I? If you don't like something about my videos, stick it in a comment. Then at least I know, and then I can choose to ignore it, or not. Again, I don't take a lot of notice of likes and dislikes. The latest YouTube thing doesn't even show them anymore, it averages them. So it says you've got 95% likes, which means you've got some dislikes, but you don't know how many. You're going to get some. There will be some that love to hit that dislike thing, you know, but they don't like owning up and saying why. You know. Anyway, that's it. Try and get going and keep at it. If you want to build a channel, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes work. It's not magic. Yeah, the effort comes from yourself, and certainly in the beginning, the YouTube don't help. So it's up to you. You got to do that work. And the most important thing really is to get known, you know. And on that note, I will offer, because people did it for me when I started, if you've got a new channel, if you don't tell me, I don't know it exists, do I? I'm not going out looking for them. I haven't got time. But if you leave it in a comment, I've just started a YouTube channel, I've posted a couple of videos, would you take a look, say what you think, perhaps offer some advice? Well, at least I know it exists then. I get the choice, don't I? If you don't tell me it's there, how can I, you know, do anything, watch it, help, whatever? And I'm quite happy to do a plug now and again. You know, if I find somebody that's starting up a channel that looks quite interesting, for me, the interest will not be the person, their pretty face or not. That's got nothing to do with it. What it'll be for me to spark my interest is the plants and the orchids. That's where my interest is. That's why I have an orchid channel. Anyway, bit of advice for starting up. It's not easy. You will have to work hard. If you're not prepared to do that, it's probably not worth starting, because it does take effort and work. And down the line, you may need to think about getting a decent camera, but it's not essential nowadays. The quality of the cameras on some of the new phones is excellent, probably even better than mine. The one thing you might not get that's so good on those type of cameras is the microphone, which is not going to be high quality, not in a phone. So you might want to think about getting a camera that does better videos. It's not essential, you know. So anyway, good luck. If you've got a new channel, good luck. But most of it isn't luck. Most of it's effort on your part, and you will need to work hard. You know, keep at it. Don't get despondent or disheartened. Like I said, you put your latest video up and get up in the morning and you've got 3 views and 1 like. And you sort of think, oh, why do I bother? Well, if you don't bother, nothing will happen. You need to bother and keep at it. Try and get some regularity. If you only post once a week, well, try and do it on the same day, and you'll get, you know, people will realise that something's coming up. They'll be ready for it. But if they've set the notifications, they'll get told anyway. Yeah. So good luck with it all. It's hard work, but the more the merrier in my book. Think how many collections are out there, stunning collections with nice environments being grown, and they're never put on film, and they're not shared, and nobody else knows about them. Well, YouTube does its job there quite well in showing those orchid collections, variety of genera that there are, and styles of plants and different types of blooms and the colours and the growing methods and everything. And YouTube's done a grand job in making that more widely known and appreciated. So join in, take part. See you next time. Bye for now.